Well, it is Wellness Wednesday here on Colorado's Best. So today we want to share a little known way to protect your family and your finances if you're ever diagnosed with a critical illness. We all know a friend or a family member who has suffered a heart attack, stroke, or cancer. Well, advanced medical treatments have greatly improved survival and recovery time, but it can also cause unbearable financial stress.
That's right. That's where critical illness coverage comes in. We have insurance experts in our help center all hour long to answer your questions about critical illness coverage, what it is and how it can help your family.
Now, here to tell us more is Ken Smith with Assurity Life. He has devoted his career to raising awareness about this kind of insurance. And Ken, you really have become an expert on the subject of critical illness care. What is it?
It's really simple, Paula. It basically pays a lump sum on the diagnosis of one of the covered conditions, like cancer, heart attack, or stroke. And the good news is that where we survive those conditions, basically I'll describe it best as it's like life insurance for the living. You don't have to die to collect the benefits.
Right.
Why is it so important?
Well, the whole point of the product is really to remove the financial stress. You think about someone who's been diagnosed with a critical illness. They go through the thoughts about the treatment, the stress from that. They go through the thoughts about the stress from what's ahead with the life-death issues. And then the third thing is the financial issues and the financial stress. And the whole purpose of the product is to take away that financial stress so they can focus on the most important thing, and that's recovery.
I think most of us know, we know about health insurance, medical coverage, disability, but when it comes to critical illness insurance, it's been around quite a while, but we don't know that much about it. It's got a very unique history. How did it come to be?
One of the most incredible things about critical illness protection is it was not created by an insurance company, but it was created by a world-famous heart surgeon, Dr. Marius Bernard. And some of the viewers may recognize his name because he assisted his brother Christian with the first heart transplant back in 1967.
There's a picture of him right there.
He saw that as a doctor with the medical advances, he was able to heal his patients physically, but the financial stress was killing his patients and working against everything he was doing as a doctor. So he actually went around, started talking to financial advisors, started talking to insurance companies. It started in South Africa and it spread all over the world.
Well, this is why we have our Insurance Help Center open here today all hour long. They're going to be answering all of your questions about critical illness protection. Welcome back. Our insurance experts are standing by live all hour to help you learn more about critical illness insurance and what it can do for you and your family. Now, I'm joined now by Amy Greenke and Melina Ward, the owners of Creative Coverage, a local organization devoted exclusively to critical illness protection. And of course, Ken Smith with Assurity joins us again. We talked to you, Ken, off the top of the show, kind of introducing people to the idea of, what in the world is critical illness insurance. Now, ladies, you all specialize in you've got your own company that has been started off with health insurance and life insurance, but you thought that's just not enough, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Well, Melina and I made critical illness protection the focus of our agency because we've seen firsthand the financial impact that comes along with a critical illness. We've also seen that even with the best life, health, and disability coverage, it's still really expensive to get sick. This protection takes away the financial stress so a person can focus on what's most important, which is their family and their recovery, and that's why we enjoy helping people with this coverage.
Now, you say you've seen what can happen. Can you share some examples of what can happen if you do not have this critical illness insurance coverage?
Yes, we actually had a friend a few years back that was diagnosed with cancer. He didn't have critical illness protection because, frankly, he didn't think that he needed it.
Right.
He was healthy, 32 years old, no family history of it. He had health insurance, but he had out-of-pocket medical costs. He was out of work for several months. His wife was out of work. They had travel expenses, daycare expenses. All in all, it was about $50,000 in debt.
Wow.
Eventually, he did thankfully beat the cancer, but until this day, they're still struggling financially. And it's so important to us to get this protection in place So that doesn't happen to people.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we were talking about earlier at the top of the show. It's like, thank God there are so many advances today, you know, extending people's lives,
Yeah.
helping them to recover. But in place of that, while you're recovering all of these expenses that you have to hit, you know, some people think, okay, I've got health insurance coverage. Now, I was going to read from this study because this is astounding. 63% of bankruptcies are due to medical bills and critical illnesses. And out of that 63%, 73% of those people had medical coverage. I mean, you know, you just can't show this example anymore, can you?
No, that's exactly right, Paul, and that's quite an alarming statistic to learn. And that's exactly why Dr. Bernard invented this type of protection in the first place, is because there are so many gaps. People think it's just enough to have health or disability, but health just pays your doctors and hospitals. And disability only pays a fraction of your salary and really long waiting periods that people can't survive through. And people don't realize the hidden costs. If you are to get sick, first you have your ongoing expenses, your mortgage, your rent, your car payment, food, all that you still have to make. Then the new expenses brought on by the illness, prescriptions, meeting your deductible, travel for you or whoever's taking care of you, and not to mention the loss of income.
Yes, it just goes on and on and on. Let's hear from a woman who did have critical illness insurance and the difference it has made in her life.
In May of 2008, I was in a car accident. While in the ER with routine testing done for whiplash, we found that I had a large tumor on the left side of my brain. I stayed up a lot of nights, sleepless, thinking about my diagnosis and thinking if I was going to make it or not. One thing I never had to worry about was thinking about how we were going to pay for the treatments for my cancer. Had great health insurance, but I also have a critical illness policy. When you think about all the costs that come up with cancer treatments, looking at your co-pays, your insurance deductible, any specialty things that aren't covered by insurance, the costs really do add up. May of this year, I celebrated 3 years of being cancer-free. Critical illnesses do not discriminate, but we can protect ourselves with a critical illness policy if we happen to be one of the unlucky ones.
It's really powerful to hear that from someone who's actually gone through it. You know, when you talk about the different kinds of benefits, you know, we hear people, you know, personally using this, but you can use it in so many other ways.
Yes, well, we've talked about how individuals and families will need the money to cover gaps and indirect costs, but businesses are really no different. If a business owner or key employee were to become diagnosed, that could put the business at serious risk. Critical illness protection will prevent that. And on top of that, businesses should be offering this protection to all of their employees. We've seen in the last couple years, you know, employers have to cut or even eliminate their benefits. Critical illness protection is an affordable way to supplement that coverage and keep the employees protected.
Now, ladies, you all decided that you wanted to work with a surety when it comes to critical illness. Tell us why, and Ken, I want to know why you want to work with Create Coverage with these ladies.
Well, we take a lot of pride in our research that we do of all the carriers that we work with, and we want to make sure that our clients and the people we're helping, that they're going to take really good care of when they need it the most. And we've read through policies, examined all the carriers that offer this coverage, and Assurity just by far has really kept with the vision of Dr. Bernard's intention of this product when he invented it. And they by far supersede anyone out there we build today, and that's why we like using them.
And very quickly, Ken.
They are experts. I mean, their commitment level with them is incredible. And they see beyond just the product itself. They see the difference that it makes in people's lives, and that's what this is all about.
It's a win-win situation with Assurity and Create Coverage. And again, remember, you can pick up the phone right now and call their experts. Learn more about critical illness insurance, how you can get it. What are the biggest questions you get about this kind of insurance?
People are calling and they want to know, do they have to use the money for medical expenses? And no, not whatsoever. It's a tax-free lump sum cash benefit when you need it the most with no restrictions.
You can use it on anything.
Anything. It really is the greatest financial prevention tool for these illnesses. We need both physical prevention and financial prevention.
Amy, how do people figure out if they, how much they need for themselves, for the family?
Well, each person is going to be completely different. We've helped people with $5,000 in coverage all the way up to $500,000 in coverage. So Melina and I work with each client to find just the right amount of coverage for that individual.
And a lot of people they want to know, how much does this cost?
That's going to vary according to your age, gender. I always say it costs, figure about a cup of coffee a day. Now, if it's someone my age, it becomes a giant frappuccino at Starbucks. If they're Amy and Melina's age, it's a small cup of coffee at a convenience store.
Sure.
I just want to mention that I really feel, I've been in this insurance business for 30 years, and I have never seen a product that makes a difference in people's lives as much as this one does. From the first claim I was involved in, a woman who was in her early 50s that was diagnosed with breast cancer, and she wouldn't tell her employer that she had the breast cancer until she had the check in her hand. And I've been able to see people stay in their houses because of the lump sum benefit from the critical
Some
illness.
incredible stories, some great information that we've been able to give out today. And you can reach them anytime. All you have to do is call 855-4CREATE, 855-427-3283. That is createcoverage.org. They're happy to answer any of your personal questions and tell you individually exactly what it is that you need. Thanks so much for joining Colorado's Best. For Joanna Canals, I'm Paula Haddock. Have a great day.